I almost feel like I'm dreaming. Jet fans, it's been the moment that we've all been waiting for. Aaron Rodgers finally said that he wants to be a New York Jet. I got very scared. It almost sounded like he was giving a retirement speech before he said it. But a weight's been lifted off our shoulder. But has it completely been lifted off our shoulder? Let's get a little further into that. Aaron Rodgers, right now, is currently under contract with the Green Bay Packers. And from all reports is the Packers are willing to wait up to the draft to make that trade official. And if I'm the Jets, I'm in no rush. We know Green Bay wants to use their draft picks this year to help their former first round quarterback Jordan Love in the process because he is due to be up for his fifth year option. So they really need to find out if he's their future quarterback or not. So if I'm the Jets, the ball is in the Packers' court. They want to get this done. Rodgers isn't going to return. He's got a $32 million cap hit with them, which they're not going to absorb, or somewhere right around there. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this thing plays out. I fully expect it to drag along because us as Jet fans, we all know it's never simple. But there's been a lot of other things that have happened around the league just besides the Rodgers thing. We lost a couple of our own. Sheldon Rankins signed $10.5 million with the Texans, and Shepard ended up signing with the Saints, which is leaving us with a giant hole at the defensive tackle position. And also some of our targets that we had, the center out of San Francisco ended up re-upping with San Francisco, even though the Jets offered him more money. So there's still other holes to be filled. I want to take a look at some of the guys that I would potentially target in free agency. I know I might get a lot of flack for this, but if I'm the Jets, I want a veteran running back besides Breece Hall, who I don't think is going to be 100% coming into the year. So I would maybe take a peek at Ezekiel Elliott, who got cut today. I know he's been on the down for a little while now, but he's a veteran back there. He's does what he's got to do as a veteran running back. He's secure with the ball, and that's someone I think that Rodgers could potentially gain trust in. We signed Allen Lazard, 4 years, $44 million with $22 million guaranteed. I think that's an underrated move. Now, I know a lot of Dolphin fans and Bills fans are going to come out and say, oh, you guys massively overpaid for him. If you look at the last 3 years, he's been ascending since then. And he's 6'5", 227. He's a big target. And one thing Aaron Rodgers loves to do is high point the ball to his receivers. And we all know, even though we didn't do it last year, which was an absolute disgrace, Garrett Wilson is one of the better leapers in the game. The guy could jump out of the gym, which makes me excited for this team. I fully expect the Jets to move on from Corey Davis, and I'm not so sure Elijah Moore is a lock for this team. If I'm looking at the other side of the ball, let's look at the safety position. We still need a free safety. To me, Clark, the guy we got from the Ravens for a 7th round pick this year, he's more of a box type safety. I expect the Jets will potentially move on from Jordan Whitehead. He's got about a $7 million salary this year. They can cut him with a $2 million dead cap hit, saving them about $5 million, which I think that's a move that they're probably going to make. I would keep an eye on the Vikings. The Vikings kind of look like they're having a little bit of a fire sale right now. If they decide to move on from a guy like Harrison Smith, who we all know, maybe he's not the Harrison Smith of 2 or 3 years ago, but he's still a baller out there. I would absolutely take a run at him at the free safety position, which would really help solidify our secondary. And, on the defensive side, I just spoke about the defensive tackle position. I would kind of look at more of the veteran guys up there. We really felt the loss of Fatukasi last year. He went on to Jacksonville, and nobody thought it was a big deal, including myself. But then we saw teams taking advantages of us up the middle. John Franklin Myers, yeah, he's going to be here. But to me, I don't want to see him playing on the interior, especially on rundowns. We've seen the quarterback sneak always work against us. It feels like every team can constantly get their fourth down conversions against us. So I would kind of look at a guy who is 36 years old, the big, massive himself, Calais Campbell. I love him. He is a big dude. You put him next to Williams, especially the way we rotate our linemen. I think he would really succeed with what we're trying to do here. And I know one other player that a lot is on Jets' minds, and a lot of people think he's going to be cut. I'm not so sure, but Carl Lawson, he did play fairly well for us last year. He did have off-season surgery, which I'm not sure too many Jet fans knew about, but turns out he did. He was playing through injury most of the year. So those are some of the moves that I'm looking to be made. Maybe the Jets restructure Lawson, push some of that money back. They could ease up a little bit of the salary cap, and I'm going to be looking all over the place for veterans to start to wanting to come here to play with Rodgers. Rodgers did mention today on the Pat McAfee show potentially getting a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. Word has it, and Woody said it on his space yesterday, that guy's looking between $15 and $20 million, which I think is just going to be a little too much for us right there. But if he's ring shopping, I know he's got a ring with the Rams, but he got injured in the Super Bowl on his way to win an MVP. Maybe he decides to take a pay cut and come here. I don't think that's what's going to end up happening. I could see the Jets bringing in a guy like Randall Cobb to be the fourth or fifth receiver. I think Denzel Mims is probably going to be moved this offseason, and there is still so much to do for Joe Douglas in this offseason, and we're going to be here to break it down for you at JetCast. Feel free to subscribe to us. If you like this, please give us a like. It definitely helps us out. And as always, go Jets.